And we're go. It's Friday. It is Friday. And so I thought that I would ease you into the weekend. Let's wrap up the week that has been and shift into a place of effortlessness for the weekend ahead. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. Thank you for creating this space in your day to watch alive on inner leadership. To define inner leadership is learning how to listen to the voice within you that cannot be touched. When I say this, we have so many influences happening at us on any given day. And as a human, we're going to be impacted and affected by so many different things. And these things can put us off our center. They can start us questioning whether we're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, shouldn't be doing or should not be. And so inner leadership and activating inner leadership is a practice. It's not something that you just land in and come to, and you come from that place all the time, because as a human being, you are constantly going to come up against different kinds of adversity. You are going to come up against people who don't like you. You're going to come up against people who don't agree with you. That is just life. And the beauty and the power of practicing tuning into that voice that sits way underneath all of that is that by empowering that space, it's easier to tune back in. It's easier to come back onto your center. So with that, leading into the topic of today, how do we create effortless change? How can we make change a more effortless and easeful process? And how can we let go of that story of struggle? Because it is a story. It's a story we get tied into, and it's not dissimilar to the story of busy. I'm busy, I'm productive, so therefore I matter. I am struggling and I am carrying so much of a load, and therefore I'm important, I matter. So my first question today is about identity. If you are someone who constantly comes up against that story of struggle and life feels like a struggle, what will happen when you let go of that story? What do you have to let go of within your identity? And is part of you tied to success requires me to struggle? If I don't struggle, then I'm not worthy. If any of this is resonating with you, my invitation today is to really start to look at all of the aspects of your life where you create the story of struggle and you hold on to it for dear life. Where are you important because you are in struggle? First piece. And it is an important one because it is one of the biggest pieces that unravels a lot of my leaders. And they get to unravel before they get to build themselves back into a place of ease, where they redefine what success really looks like. That success can come from a place of ease and grace. And part of that brings me to my second point for the day. That second point is support. We carry these heavy loads and we think that we need to do it all alone. And so many, particularly those in leadership, find it really challenging to say yes to support. And one of those reasons is they actually don't even know what support looks like. So I'm going to give you a really simple one today. Look at a way that you want to change your life, change the experience of your life. And what is that new belief, that new story that you need to move into? Who in your life can support you in shifting to that story? Because our default mode is often blind to us. It comes out in our language, it comes out in our actions, it comes out in all the things that we're completely unaware of. And in the conversations that I have on a daily basis with my clients, they get to see that. Oh my gosh, I'm doing that thing again. Oh, I was thinking about it that way. I see how I can see it differently now. Having someone in your corner that supports a greater version of you, that supports the version of you that finds change effortless, that supports the part of you that allows yourself to embrace joy, that allows yourself to take time off. So really think about, as you move into this weekend, where are those aspects of your life that you really want to shift, and who is it that gets to hold you accountable to those? Who is it that sees those blind spots and can shift your perspective really quickly so that you can begin to start not just thinking and seeing differently, but actually living into a different version of who you are? It's a pattern change, and often it's a change that has been so well ingrained, we've lived it all our lives, so it can be quite tricky to unravel. None of these are really effective without the art of practice. And practice and microshift are something that you'll probably hear me talk about a lot, because that's where the effortlessness comes from. It's not in those big, huge shifts and changes that you think are going to make the big difference. It's those tiny micro shifts, those moment by moment choices that send you in a whole new direction. And the practice of ease happens in your day to day. It happens in your commitment to find what that change is and find all of those tiny, seemingly insignificant day that anchor in that big change. When I'm working with people in leadership, they don't need anything more added onto their day. If anything, they need things removed. So creating these tiny, small, again, subtle, seemingly insignificant changes begins to move them in a different way of thinking and a different way of being. So as you move through your weekend, what are the ways in which you can invite in more support? Really look at, what does support really look like for me? And where can I lean in? Where can I rest? Where can I take some of this load off that I'm carrying? Who is it that will hold me accountable to a different version of myself? That future vision that I have, who's going to uphold you to not just seeing it and moving towards it, but actually being it every single day, catching you when you move back into those old patterns and old ways of being. I shift between guide and coach. Most of the time, I act as a space holder that just guides someone back to their own inner voice, that piece that I started with, that voice within them that is unshakable, that knows because they just know. The coach part of me is what comes in when I see people falling from their own grace, where I get to remind them of what they committed to for themselves, because those old patterns are so tricky. They can fall back into them so easily. So the practice, how do we practice those shifts? I'm going to give you a really easy practice right now, and it's really a lot of my coursework is in audio. It's in going underneath what's going on here in this busy mind and really asking yourself the questions that will take you through to that place of change. So anyone who is joining from here on in is going to wonder what the hell I'm doing. But for those who have been here, or are you watching the recording at some later time today or tomorrow, just create a space now, irrespective of what's going on around you, and just tune in. It's okay if you can't close your eyes, you can simply just come back to your breath. And just for a moment, just see if you can drop right into the center of that breath. And really use your exhalation to just let go of what's going on around you for a moment. Just let it become a blur in your image and tune back into here. Really tuning back into that unshakable part of you that just is. And we're just going to take that simple example of shifting from struggle to ease. Remembering that nothing in change is actually outside of you. So where does ease already exist and live in your life? And if you're not finding it, you've got some work to do. But just begin to feel that sense of ease. If life was in a place of ease, what would it look like? Just in this moment, in this beautiful, elegant moment, forgetting everything that's going on around you, what does ease feel like for you? And if you could wave that magic wand and let go of roles and responsibilities, what would some of those roles be that you let go of? Just to come back to that place of ease. And as you breathe, just really keep dropping into that center that is unwavering. And see if you can just expand that sense of ease throughout your body. That no matter what is happening on your outside world, that you can start to feel a sense of ease from within. Notice that you can power it with your breath. That you can allow it to live inside your body and moving it out into the field around you. And then with all of those weights, as you take them off, who can you hand them to? Where is that support system around you? If you needed to drop everything right now, what would happen? What is the worst that would happen? And what's possible? What's possible if someone started to pick up some of that load? If you chose the story of ease and effortless change instead of the story of struggle. So as you go into this weekend, what are the aspects of your life that you're gripping onto that are keeping you weighed down? And if only for a moment, how often can you come back into just having the experience of what ease feels like? Because if you've lived your life working really hard and making it hard for yourself, that may be a different model to create from within. And it's a beautiful question to come back to as you move through your weekend. So your identity, where is the struggle meaning that you matter, that you're important? Where is your ego fighting for you to keep that story of struggle? Where are you not allowing support? One, for everything that you are doing and everything that you are holding. Two, to hold you accountable to a different way of being, a different experience of who you could be. And three, what is that smallest shift that you can create? And I've given you one today. Come back to the breath and create the experience within your body. No matter what's going on around you, you can always have that powerful experience. And you can change the word: ease, confidence, grace, joy, whatever that is that you choose. You have the power to create it from within. Have a wonderful Friday afternoon. I hope it is much drier where you are. It is pouring down here, and I'm hoping that anyone who is in the Noosa area and the Sunshine Coast area is staying safe and off the roads. I will speak to you all tomorrow, Saturday, Inner Leadership. Sending you so much love.